game from here on out.
It's up to you to get this crowd going, Dave. Give it up.
Let's get up and let's get loud, folks.
There you go. Bruce, up to you.
All right.
All right, lacrosse fans, welcome inside the Hive. Treasure Island Field, XL Energy Center. It's Jake Elliott and Joe Armour with you. Right here on 45 TV as we get set for more National Lacrosse League action. It's the Minnesota Swarm taking on the Buffalo Bandits. The Swarm come in at 5-7. The Bandits at 5-8. The Swarm have won 2 straight. The Bandits have lost 5 straight. Your starting goaltenders for the Swarm, it's Cadillac Tyler Carlson and Anthony Cosmo for the Bandits. Your referees for tonight's contest, your crew chief is Chris Williams. Assistant referee is Greg Pepper. And shot clock operator is Jeff Dolan. Swarm in the blue with the yellow shoulders, Buffalo in white with the black and orange trim. Swarm with the opening possession on offense, and here's Callum Crawford. On fire over the last 3 games as he feeds McIntosh down low, and it's in the back of the net just like that. 22 seconds in, Joe Moore, it's 1-0.
Well, you can't draw up a script any better than that. Just 22 seconds into this game. Beautiful little pick and roll, and you see the finish there for McIntosh.
And Callum Crawford continues right on point there, Joe, setting up McIntosh for an early strike here against the Bandits. And another face-off win here for McIntosh as Belial in a bit of a trouble. As we'll get you the scratches momentarily. Here comes David Earl as he tries to spin through a check, and that one stripped away and into the crease of Anthony Cosmo.
Swarm kind of picking up where they left off last week. They scored 15 goals in the second half last week, 15 goals on just 28 shots. They score on their first one tonight, now 1 for 2 after Cosmo makes his first save.
Here's Wilson as the Buffalo Bandits will get their first possession on offense here. Shot blocked on the way through, picked up by Jeff Gilbert. They're still trying to tuck it away himself here and leg it out. Wilson will have to cut across and get off on a line change here. As on comes Ryan Benesh along with Josh Gillen coming off a 7-point effort. Crawford one more time. Finds a cutting Jay Card right to the middle of the goal. Here's Card faking. Oh, what a stop from Cosmo as he kicked out the leg as Card had him down and out, but Cosmo just in time makes the stop.
A quick but effective shift from Jay Card that time, flashing the stick all over the place. Got in a little bit too deep before he could get that shot off.
Outside shot finds the back of the net. Coming from a bit of a poor angle there. Trying to check the number down there. It's Jordan Critch who finds himself in the Bandit lineup here. As you watch the replay one more time, just McBillick a little late getting out in that shooting lane, and it off the shoulder and in to the back of the goal. It's 1-1.
First goal of the season for Jordan Critch.
Thornbert wins that drop as he's set a Buffalo team record in the faceoff department this season. Now David Brock gets it across the timeline. Double team there and finds Petkoff. Here's Luke Wiles. Far side now. Wiles one more time, 6 on the shot clock. Williams goes to Wilson, down to 3 on the shot clock. Tuck and go. Here's Hominick trying to work his way in. Easy stop there from Carlson.
Should mention, Jake, that McIntosh's goal means that 5 tickets donated to local youth organizations by Innovative Office Solutions. A special thank you to Innovative Office Solutions for helping send so many kids to the Hive.
Here's Matisse, try to pass across the top. That one knocked down. Now a race for the ball. As it's Sutton's up with it. He's going to come across the top here on Matisse with a shot to the short side. That one goes wide of the goal. Priolo will keep it in play. She's got Tyler Haas all over him. Now it's Stainhouse. He of the orange shoes. Always easy to pick out Stainhouse. As David Earl scoops up a loose ball. He's got Matisse up ahead of the play. But thinks better of that. Now he's got a man coming off the bench, and McIntosh had a little trouble with that one. Can't come up with a loose ball either as he keeps working after it, though. And the ageless wonder, John Tavares, is the man that comes away. Alex Keto Hill, who had 3 in his Bandit debut. Williams on the wrong side, goes to Hominick. Wilson from the outside, fakes, shoots, Carlson down. Makes the stop and finds the ball underneath him. Close call there for Carlson.
Jake, two teams desperate for a win. Buffalo obviously more so than Minnesota, who comes in with the 2-game win streak. But everything's so important now for the playoff picture.
Just a log jam in the standings. Here's Gibson tried to feed inside. Benesh wasn't ready for it, but a penalty call coming up here. There's a player down on the far side of Treasure Island Field there, Joe. I can't quite pick up the number here from our location. As I believe it's Jake Card that gets back to his feet now. Let's get you the scratches here. Not dressed for the Buffalo Bandits here this evening. Mike McNamara, Dean Smith, and Hayden Smith out of the lineup for the Minnesota Swarm tonight. Zach Higgins, Pat Smith, and one of the veterans, Joe, that they're going to miss here this evening, especially in that transition game, in Andrew Watt. Power play time. It's a 5-minute major that goes up on the board here for Steve Priolo. So a real opportunity now here for the Swarm in this first quarter. McIntosh, the setup man, goes to Benesh. Crawford, quick pass. Jackson inside. McIntosh, 5-hole scores. He's got 2.
Power play goal for Minnesota. It has been an ever-improving power play unit this season, Jay, coming in at 45% tonight. With the major penalty, the Swarm can score 3 times with the man advantage.
Another 5 tickets donated by Innovative Office Solutions, and McIntosh with 2 goals early in this one. 10:47 to go in this first quarter, and still a ton of time on the major penalty to Priolo as Thornburg wins a draw, but it's stolen away by McIntosh. Just took 15 seconds on that opening strike on the man advantage. Same 5-man unit will make their way back out. Matisse and Jackson will go down to the crease. There's Crawford on the far side, stepping in. Goes up top to McIntosh. Goes to Benesh. He's going to fire, and Pat Cosmo going the wrong way. But still got enough of it to keep it out. McIntosh up top. Crawford. Here comes a little motion from Matisse as he works his way inside. Goes to McIntosh. Jackson with a shot, and that missed far side. Will it stay in play? And did it catch a piece of Cosmo? No. So it'll be Buffalo ball with a quick outlet to Stainhouse. 3-on-2 here for the Bandits. In behind us, Tavares, and Tyler Haas just got a stick on Tavares in time as he had slipped in behind the defense. And something the Swarm are going to have to be wary of, and something that kind of caught them early in the season, Joe, is getting back on that transition, especially on the man up.
Yeah, definitely so, and that's something that both Gilbert and Haas, as we saw that time, have really steadily improved the performance throughout this season.
And Brian gets a pass off to Billy D. Smith. He finds Brownell. That's Aaron Wilson, former Swarm player. Spent a number of years here. Down to 7 on the shot clock here for the Bandits, shorthanded. So it's Sean Williams, the team's leading scorer, and looking up a stat for the game, Joe, if Sean Williams can lead the team in scoring, it'll be the first time in a long time since somebody else besides John Tavares has done it. We'll take a break here on 45 TV. It's 2-1 Swarm, 9:08 to go here in the first quarter.
Tonight's game brought to you in part by Reebok. Redefine your game with Reebok's new Black line. Reebok Black was designed and engineered for the elite lacrosse player. Reebok's Black line features a lightweight and minimalistic design with carbon light technology. Performance-driven, technology-driven, NLL proven. Find all the new Reebok lacrosse gear online at ReebokBlack.com.
Cross fans, if you want to be interactive here on the webcast, you can do so via Twitter. You can find me at PXP, the number 4 LAX, PXP for Lax at twitter.com. Love to hear from you. Questions, comments, concerns, always invited here on the webcast and the NLL Network and the Lacrosse Network, as we love to be interactive here with you. Drop me a line at PXP for Lax. Welcome back here on 45 TV. Jake Elliott, Joe Moore with you. Swarm remain on the power play and up 2-1 here. As Banesh, the setup man now, as they go lefty strong, as they say. Here's Jackson around the screen, tried to feed across, and it went in between Monetize and Crawford. Crawford down the crease now, fakes. No look pass. Got deflected on the way through to Jackson. 6 on the shot clock as it goes out to Banesh. In comes Monetize, overhand shot blocked on the way through. And into the stick of Cosmo, lobs one over the top. And Buffalo on the run. Passing behind us. Brownwell looked like he was in the crease. Carlson made the stop anyway. As now Luke Wiles gets stripped of the ball. Nice double team there from Billick and Haas.
Yeah, it's an amazing stat, Jake, just before we cut for commercial there. Buffalo has been led by 2 players for that amount of time. What, 14 years now?
Unbelievable. Here's Steinhaus 3-on-2. Into the middle, it's Williams. He got hit as he tried to shoot. And the Swarm come right back here with the ball. Just under 2 minutes to go in the man advantage as Dan Ball looks for somebody to dish off to. As they struck quickly 15 seconds into this major and haven't had much since, as Corbin Town will take a shift on the man advantage here. McIntosh up top, Banesh. Quick pass to Crawford, steps in, overhand shot. Cosmo down, ball on the ground. Oh, it rolls into the goal! Not exactly going to make the top 10 highlights, Joe, but it counts either way. It's 3-1 Swarm.
And the challenge play comes out of the Buffalo bench.
I'm not exactly sure what the challenge could be for, as the Bandit player put it into his own goal. Cosmo going for a walk to the Bandit bench here. As the challenge flag came immediately from Darius Kilgore. Interested to have another look at this replay, as I don't think there is anyone around that Bandit crease when the ball went in, but we'll have a look, as will you.
You know, and I don't know.
I guess they're seeing if the ball did cross the goal line here. This behind the net here, and
little English on that, spun right over.
Yes, that is in the goal. I'd like to see the overhead just to confirm that for sure. As it was Keto Hill. As here we'll have a better look. As Hill did well to get into the crease to stop the English on that ball, and then just went to scoop it up, and whoopsie daisy, and there it is. As he yanked it back out quickly. It wasn't in for long, Joe, but I got to believe this is across the line here.
Well, it was over the
yes,
line.
Indeed.
There we go.
Power play goal. And definitely not your traditional kind there, Joe, as we don't want to make too much fun of Alex Keto Hill there, but he's not going to forget that one anytime soon. And just like that, the Swarm up 2 here, 3-1. And still 1:33 to go in the major penalty to Priolo.
Well, you know, if you're Buffalo, coming in here on a 5-game losing streak, the confidence certainly down right now. And when things go bad, they just seem to go bad, as Anthony Cosmo going off to the dressing room, it looks like.
And I got to believe this is an injury to Anthony Cosmo. I don't think the hook would come out that early from Kilgore for Cosmo. And Cosmo right down the player's tunnel to the dressing room, as Curtis Wagar is going to come into this game. And a face-off violation on Thornbert.
Thornbert, another ex-Swarm, making a return to the Hive tonight. He spent, I believe it was the 2010 season here with the Swarm.
Swarm still on the man advantage here. Same 5-man unit right back out there. Banesh and McIntosh play a little pass and go. And that ball picked off. And now it's a foot race here as Keto Hill is trying to make up for his mistake, and he rings one off the crossbar. Ball bouncing around, and the Bandits will come away with it. AKH showing some speed there. Pulling away from Jackson, now Steinhaus. 20 on the shot clock here. There's nobody out there to help number 9 quite yet. Now Wilson has joined him on that far side. Goes across to Tavares. Wilson, quick pass. That shot blocked by David Earl. And Joe, David Earl just continues to improve with every single game and shift that this young man takes. You know, a guy that came out of the Notre Dame program, had no box experience before last year, and you would never know. I mean, you could tell when he joined the team last year, but since then, you know, he's kind of really come out of his shell personality-wise and really looking more and more comfortable inside the Hive here and inside the NLL in between the boards. Now a breakaway opportunity coming here for the Bandits, right in to say no, it squeaks through the legs. Carlson and into the goal. Was it Glenn Bryan on the breakaway?
Yeah, Swarm getting a little sloppy with the passing there with the man advantage. Stainhouse now going after a Swarm player. Not sure who that was exactly.
And this is the sort of thing that the Swarm just kind of want to walk away from here a little bit, Joe. They don't want to get caught up in this pushing and shoving sort of thing after and in between the play.
That was Dan Ball that Stainhouse took exception to. Shorthanded goal there for Buffalo. Still just 1 second left on that major power play for the Swarm.
Priolo up and standing, ready to be released from the penalty box. So the Bandits get a shorthanded goal, and with 6:03 to go in the first quarter, it's now 3-2. And now what do we got? Priolo, they release Priolo. And what are they doing? Waving off the goal? I think they're just waving off the penalty time, so we'll start the play 5-on-5. Strange signal there from the referee. Thornburg wins that drop. And it's a partial 3-on-2. Right in, saved by Carlson, right into the belly pad there from Thornburg. There's Greg Downing. To Matt Gibson. Gibson gets the feet going, double teamed here and stripped of the ball. Is good double team there from the Bandits, just took that one right away. Keto Hill winds, fires, and Carlson out to challenge the angle, cuts that one right down.
Boy, he was way out on that one.
As he lobs one over the top here to Nick Billick. On comes Josh Gillum speeding in. Gillum right in, still faking, and he shot it over top of the goal. The Bandits out and running quickly here in this first quarter. Something the Swarm are going to have to be aware of, and they've been caught on transition a few times here in this first quarter. As we hit 5 minutes here to go in the opening frame. Luke Wiles out high. JT, as they call him, John Tavares, goes back to Wiles. Overhand shot from Williams, short side, top corner. And a beautiful snipe there from another veteran, Sean Williams. And it's 3-3.
Yeah, Sean Williams just picked a spot, and he let loose a rocket. Carlson, you could see dipping down to a knee, just opening up underneath the crossbar right there.
Shots on goal, 10-6 in favor of the Bandits. Looking down on that Buffalo bench, still no sign of Anthony Cosmo down there, as it's Curtis Wagar in between the pipes now as David Earl comes away with a loose ball. Partial 3-on-2, and Earl will slow things up here to Greg Downing. Buffalo loves to pressure the ball no matter where it is on the field. Vinesh right in, lowers in the shoulder, step back, goes down to Crawford. Crawford rink wide. In behind the goal now is Jackson as he shovels one to Crawford. Crawford backhand feed. McIntosh had a room on the short side, and the ball just rolled out of the pocket before he could get the shot off. So Buffalo takes back over as Wiles gets it across center. On comes Tavares with some room to step in. Runs into a roadblock in Tyler Haas. Now Williams, quick pass is knocked down and picked off by Jeff Gilbert.
Boy, that's something we've seen a lot of, Jake, on this three-game homestand. The sticks getting in the passing lanes, the defense just being a lot more active in that regard.
Corbin Town goes to Gillum. Swing pass across. Jay Card across the top. Hard pick there from Town will be a moving violation, and that'll take us to timeout here on 45 TV. Your score is 3-3 with 3:25 here to go in the first quarter. We're right back after this.
Learn more about the lives of your favorite NLL players away from the game on Push Page, the new social media site hosted by athletes and celebrities. It's a place to interact and ask questions directly to your favorite players. Visit pushpage.me and click People to see a list of NLL players with push pages. You can find Minnesota's own Andrew Suter on Pushpage by visiting pushpage.me/suits20. You'll find out that his first car was a Pontiac G6 and his favorite snack is sunflower seeds. Check out the page, ask the captain a question. It's all from Pushpage. New players joining every week. Get in on the fun at pushpage.me.
Set a new franchise record for most goals scored in a game.
I'm going to have to say true.
That is correct. All right, moving on to question 2. Sarah, this is you. Home Service Plus offers free in-home consultations for products and services.
What is true?
Well done, even punny, I like it. And finally, and this is the kicker, guys, with his 6-point game last weekend, Ryan Benesh became the franchise's second highest scorer all time with 314 points. What do you guys think?
Oh, it's got to be true.
That's true. I love it. Thank you, Rudy. Congratulations. You guys are going home with a great prize from Home Service Plus. Now, fans, be sure to log on to mnswarm.com and register to win the VIP seat sweepstakes from Home Service Plus. Great job, guys.
Swarm fans, are you ready for a challenge? Stop by the AdvoCare table located behind section 105 to find out more about the AdvoCare 24-day challenge that will help you lose weight, gain energy, and kickstart a better, healthier diet. Stop by the AdvoCare table behind section 105 to pick up your free sample.
All right, lacrosse fans, welcome back inside the Hive, Treasure Island Field, Excel Energy Center. Jake Elliott, Joe Moore with you as a 3-3 game here, and the Bandits in possession. Hopcroft down to Wiles. Hard pass for Williams, and right back to Wiles it goes as he tries to drive it down low. Flip pass out to Hopcroft, skip pass down to the far crease. Intended for Critch, was deflected once again. Downing on the breakout. Well, some action on the far side. Here's Sorensen with a bomb. Here's Downing right in. Save from Wagger as they wave it off in the crease. Sorensen really stepped into that one, but right into the midsection of Wagger. As if you're just joining us, Anthony Cosmo leaving this game about halfway through the first quarter with an apparent injury. Here's Steinhaus. Who's going to fire? Carlson the save. Bouncing around in the crease, says Carlson will find it there. And outlet quickly. David Earl. In comes Benesh. McIntosh. Jackson out there as well. McIntosh with the ball across the top. Stops up, spins off a check. Here's McIntosh. Oh, he looked short side, and Wagger got a piece of that. Nice little stick there from Tao to knock it out to Crawford, and a new 30 to work with. Here's Benesh right in. Wagger down and on top of the ball. There's a quick shot there early in the 32nd clock there from Benesh. You never want to question Benesh when he shoots the ball. Such a sniper. As we're under 2 minutes to go here. Hominick. That ball knocked down, and I think it stung Haas there a little bit. Hominick with it again. Goes down into the corner to Williams. Wiles loads, fires nowhere near the cage as Critch comes up with it. 2 on the shot clock. Going to work against Gilbert. And an easy stop there for Carlson as the shot clock was about to expire. Here comes Josh Gillum. His 3rd game back in a Swarm uniform in his 2nd year here in the National Lacrosse League. Goes to Crawford. Down low to Matisse. Benesh, tuck and go. Here comes Benesh right in. Floating a shot in on Wagger and made the save. Ball bouncing around in the crease here. Picked up by Gillum and shot right back in on Wagger and made a stick save.
A good first attempt there from Benny, who just kind of overran his own rebound. He tried to quick stick his own rebound, and then Gillum right there. And Jake, we've said it since Gillum has come back into the lineup. What great hands he has.
He's got a flashy stick for sure. Here's Tavares down low. Finds its way right in on goal. As that was an intended pass that missed the stick and ended up in on Carlson. Look out at center as Matisse. That looked like back over. They let that one go, so a break there for the Swarm. Jackson stepping in. He's going to fire from long range, and it's right into the stick of David Brock. Former Philly wing, who are in action this evening against the Rochester Nighthawks. Last score I saw was 8-4. at halftime in favor of the Nighthawks.
Well, you mentioned the quick shot from Banesh last time. A quick shot from way out as Minnesota was looking for the 2-for-1 there at just over 30 seconds to go.
Here's Williams, hard pass to Veras, down to the crease, set play, save from Carlson. As time expires with the empty net on the 6-on-5. They ran the play to perfection, but Carlson makes the stop as the first quarter comes to an end. Here's shots on goal after 15 minutes of play. The Bandits 13, the Swarm 11. It's 3-3 after the first quarter. We're back on 45 TV right after this.
Join us at the High for the final regular season home game Saturday, April 20th as the Swarm face off against the Colorado Mammoth. Game time is 7 p.m. Central Time. Check out mnswarm.com for more information and tickets. And while you're there, if you're looking for one-of-a-kind auction items, you can check out auctions.mnswarm.com. You can bid on exclusive team-issued items, experiences, and more. Again, all that information is at mnswarm.com.
Stick around at halftime.
Fans, also don't forget to stick around at halftime as, Joe, it's wedding night here inside the Hive at halftime. A marriage is going to take place down here at center field at Treasure Island Field at halftime, so make sure you stick around for that.
Wow.
Indeed, indeed.
I think we're giving new definition to Queen Bee here inside the Hive.
Oh, well played, sir, well played. We're back with second quarter action coming up momentarily. Stick around.
All right, guys, hop off.
All right. Congratulations. We got one winner. One winner tonight. Thanks for playing, everybody.
All right, lacrosse fans, welcome back inside the Hive, Treasure Island Field. Jake Elliott, Joe Moore with you as we get set for the start of the second quarter here. And Joe, Swarm off to a great start in this one, a quick start, and had that 5-minute major. They capitalized quickly on that, but then kind of dried up on the power play a little bit and gave Buffalo a chance to get back into this one. But probably the biggest story of the game so far is Anthony Cosmo gone from this game, and Curtis Wagar now in between the pipes.
Yeah, and Cosmo still not back on the Buffalo bench. Curtis Wagar, who has a total of less than 3 full games of action this season, and Minnesota would be do well to test him early and often here in the second.
Swarm come up with possession to start the second quarter here, and Jordan McIntosh, 2 out of the 3 goals for the Swarm in that first quarter. Here's Crawford, he set up a couple of them up. Now Kyle Matisse, usually good for a couple. Here's Banesh with a shot. That one goes wide by about 2 feet, bounces out to Matisse. He'll try to rip one in. Shot clock winding down here, and the Swarm will have to bail to the bench. That one knocked down by the tall stick of Brock Sorensen. Gilbert tried to battle for it, tried to knock it ahead for Sorensen. A Bandit player down there without a stick. Ball squirts free, but right to the Bandits. Now Sean Williams loves to feed the ball. And goes far side to Steenhouse, winds up, tuck and go. Now feeds inside. Here's Wilson with a bounce shot and a save from Carlson as he came sliding across. Belisle came across and finished off his check. Long pass is off the mark as Tyler Haas will bat it ahead. Skips it up and takes a check from behind and knocks the ball free for Alex Guido Hill. He tried to shoulder his man, and Tyler Haas right now playing as he is appealing his 1-game suspension. Jordan Critch up with the ball. A little scrambly here in the early going of quarter number 2. As Wiles will slow things down. He's got Mike Hominick. He'll step in. Sorensen on him. Goes back to Wiles. As Downey marked up on him. Long shot comes from the outside, and it did get a piece of Carlson, so they will get a reset.
Boy, just as the horn sounded, that was close.
Absolutely. Now what do we got? Whistle goes. And one referee saying too many men on the Bandits, and I believe it's going to be a penalty. Yes, it is. Too many men is a penalty here in the National Lacrosse League, and the Swarm will go back to the man advantage here as the Bandits just put out 6 players on offense.
Well, and that's something when you maintain possession, and I believe even the Bandit players thought that was a shot clock violation. Some of the defenders coming on when they shouldn't have been.
Jordan Critch, the in-home, will serve this minor as the Swarm power play goes back to work. McIntosh, Crawford, Matisse, Benesh, and Jackson, the 5-man unit out there. Here's McIntosh to Benesh as they play a little pass and catch. Now it's back to Benesh. Down to the crease to Jackson, looking for a cutter, nobody coming. Here's Crawford down to the crease, couldn't handle that ball. And it's picked off there by Steenhouse as he'll clear the zone. Feeds one inside, right in, kick save there from Carlson as he turned Hopcroft away. And again, the Bandits running well here, Joe, and a good pass from Steenhouse as Hopcroft was in behind everybody.
And the Swarm seemed to look at him as he came off the bench and just really never picked him up.
There's Benesh, goes to Crawford, faking. Back up to Benesh, off a stick and wide. Gillum out of the corner with it to Jackson. 7 on the shot clock inside. Here's Matisse, scores! Top corner. Power play goal. Swarm back in the lead, 4-3.
And a reminder that every goal the Swarm scores at the Hive this season means that 5 tickets will be donated to local youth organizations by Innovative Office Solutions. A special thank you to Innovative Office Solutions for helping send so many kids to the Hive.
Yes, a great sponsor, and a big thank you to Innovative Office Solutions, and all sorts of time and room there for Matisse right in the middle of that box, Joe. And Bandit players were spread out there, and Matisse just found that soft spot in the middle, and you give the Moose that much time, he's not going to make a mistake. Here's Wiles, quick move across the top, spins on Belisle. Good defense there from Mr. Luxurious. Now it's picked off by David Earl. He's across center, and nobody's going to catch him from behind. Here comes David Earl, right in, faking, scores! Through the 5-hole of Wagger. 2 straight here for Minnesota. It's 5-3.
Oh, and Wagger stuck right with them. All the head and shoulder fakes, a couple stick fakes in there as well, and Earl somehow squeezes it in the 5-hole. Swarm back up on top by 5, and that is 25 tickets now donated by Innovative Office Solutions.
11:34 here to go in quarter 2, and it's 5-3 Minnesota. Face-off violation this time on McIntosh will give the ball to the Bandits. Thornbert looking for a man to pass off to as you know he wants to get off, and now he finally finds Williams. Comes near side here to Hominick. Now Steenhouse off the half wall. Belisle will step out on him. Picker coming there from Wilson, one of the best in the game at it. Steenhouse tried a backhand feed, and it goes to Tavares, tried to swing it out front, and it's picked off there by Downey.
Good help defense as Dan Ball switched off and cut Steenhouse off that time as he tried to drive toward the goal.
Jake Card and Corbin Tao out there for a shift on this near side. As it's Shane Jackson on that far side. Low, fires, squeaks through and into the goal as he gives it the old pumpernickel to the crowd. And 3 straight here by Minnesota. It's 6-3.
And again, the Swarm just sneaking one through the 5-hole on Curtis Wagar.
Looks like a cramp down on Treasure Island Field, Joe. Highly doubt it's a cramp. Maybe a little timeout here as 3 straight goals from the Swarm.
I was wondering what the air quotes were when you said cramp.
Yes. And up quickly, and will make his way off now. Glenn Bryant. Savvy move there by the youngster.
Well, this is something that has plagued Buffalo all season. Well, not necessarily all season, Jake, but certainly during the losing streak where, lacrosse being such a game of runs, and Buffalo just has not been able to stop the bleeding when the opponent gets on a run. And right now, Minnesota with the 3 unanswered here in the second quarter.
The next goal in this one, Joe, is going to be a big one. Corbin Tao out for a draw, and Thornbert wins that one easily. As McIntosh unable to get out there, I suppose. As Suddens dishes off, and now in a little bit of trouble is Critch as Tao and Earl work him over. Billick comes over and picks up the loose ball. Check it, it's Dan Ball. Half of the Energy brothers. Runs himself into a little bit of traffic and gets the ball off to Crawford. Quick pass to Downing, who will set things up. Delayed call as Carlson will hustle to the bench. So a power play coming up now for the Swarm. Crawford will set things up here, 6-on-5 with an empty net. Matisse runs motion with Tao, down to the crease. Jackson's stick all held up as he pleads his case to the referee. Ball still alive here, but shot clock will expire. And I believe it's another too many men call here on the Bandits, Joe, this time on the defensive end.
So the Swarm with 3 power play goals in this one already. Another opportunity here in the second quarter. 4:59 the time of this too many men penalty.
McIntosh back out there on the man advantage, so obviously okay, just unable to take that draw. Good news for Minnesota and their fans as Critch will make his way back to the penalty box here as the in-home.
Fans, visit swarmrewards.com to start earning points and prizes for just being social. Link your Facebook and Twitter accounts today to start earning rewards at swarmrewards.com.
McIntosh to Benesh, back to McIntosh, back to Benesh, all sorts of room to step in, fires! Wagger the save, didn't know much about it, but kept it out of the goal. Outlets quickly to Priolo.
Well, it almost seemed like he was really concentrated on making sure the shot wasn't going to go 5-hole again on him.
Williams out high, 15 on the shot clock now. There's everything to the outside for the Bandits. Rink wide pass, down into the corner it goes to Wilds. Haas stalking him. Now it's Hopcroft, he can bomb it. Outside the restraining line now. And not much happening on this offensive set as they just lob it into the corner. And that ball caught up in the netting. Possible souvenir for a fan. We'll take it a break here on 45 TV. 9:12 to go. It's 6-3 Swarm. We're back after this. Lacrosse fans, Treasure Island and Resort and Casino is proud to be the presenting sponsor of the Minnesota Swarm. Coming up at TI Casino, catch Billy Gardell Friday, April 26th at 8 p.m. Live in the Island Event Center. For more information, it can be found at www.ticasino.com.
Oh, I just love the game action here. I went to my first game in 2007 and fell in love with the sport right away.
What kind of benefits do you get from being a season ticket holder?
Oh, where to begin?
Yeah, right? Where to begin? You guys need to get in touch with your sales representative over at the Minnesota Swarm, like Josh, and get signed up for next year.
All right, Josh. Redefine your game with Reebok's new Black line. Reebok Black was designed and engineered for the elite lacrosse player. Reebok's Black line features a lightweight and minimalistic design with carbon light technology. Performance and technology-driven, NLL proven. Find all the new Reebok lacrosse gear online at ReebokBlack.com. Fans, it is now time for the Delta Dental
Fans, welcome back inside the Hive. Jake Elliott, Joe Moore with you. Swarm go to the man advantage. Or still on the man advantage, excuse me. 1:05 to go in it. Benesh, the point man this time. Monetize and Crawford near side. Gillum and Jackson far side. Skip pass. Gillum tried to reach and stick it in the far side. Crawford's got it back. 13 on the shot clock for Crawford. Stepping in. He's going to fire. That one's wide. Goes right to Jackson. He loads up. Hard pass. Crawford down to Gillum. Scores. Tic-tac-toe. Into the goal. It's 7-3.
Oh, what a pretty passing play. Jackson and Crawford and Gillum is the recipient. The quick stick in the short side. Another power play goal. 4th of the night for Minnesota.
And another 5 tickets from Innovative Office Solutions, up to 35 already. And for fans seeing the game for the first time on TV and 45 TV here, Joe, you know, a great crowd on hand here tonight, a Saturday night inside the Hive. And if you're thinking, man, that looks like fun, you're right about that. I mean, it's great for all ages. It's a family experience and just a great time and atmosphere inside the Hive here. And you're not going to get better value for a ticket price and the sport of lacrosse and the action you're going to see here. So if you're thinking about it, get out here inside the Hive, fans. It's an experience in all itself, just being here inside the Hive.
One more home game this regular season after tonight, and that comes on April 20th as the Swarm face off against the Colorado Mammoth. That game time 7 o'clock, April 20th. Get on out here, folks.
And that game could have huge, huge implications in the playoff race. Well, I know it will, for sure. One way or the other. Here's Gillum. Pass to McIntosh. Tuck it goes. Skip pass. Crawford couldn't handle it. Curd will go after a loose ball with David Brock along the boards. And Brock will come away with it. Under 8 minutes here to go in the half. In behind the defense was Stainhouse, but the pass was off the mark as Big Bubba Brock Sorensen will pick it off.
Gilbert doing his best to screen that pass. Don't know if that had any effect on it or not.
Nick Billick will give it off to Kyle Matisse. Still slowly trot inside the restraining line. Backing away now, waiting for a pick. Gets one from McIntosh. A roll to the goal. Matisse will spin off a check. 10 on the shot clock. Rink wide pass. Gillum rising sub shot. Didn't miss by much. Now Matisse again. McIntosh got to get one off. It's Benesh, excuse me. A shot right in on Wagar. Makes that save no problem. As man, oh man, again, here comes the transition. And that pass off the mark one more time. And you know, Joe Sullivan and Bobby Keast are probably down there pulling out their hair, Joe, trying to implore their offense to get off the floor and get that defense out there for the Swarm in time. Because really the amount of opportunities they're giving up, the scoreline could really be the other way. Here's Matisse with a reaching shot. Jackson comes up with a loose ball, finds Crawford. Need 30 to work with here for showtime. Spins off a check. So slow it down, lots of time to work with, and that's the veteran leadership of Callum Crawford right there. No need to hurry here. Here's Benesh with some room. Trying to weave his way in. Petkoff, now Curd with a backhand shot and a stop from Wagar.
Well, what do you do when you go past the shooting angle? You flip it backwards, and nice save by Wagar on that one.
Over the shoulder, and I don't think you react. Now a delayed call coming up here against the Swarm. They more or less just hit him, but nice idea there from Jake Hart. Now Williams. 6-on-5 here for the Bandits with the empty net. Wiles down to the crease. Works his way into the middle. He's all tied up. Another penalty call could be coming here as both referees have their arms up now. This could be a fight. Here's Wiles again off the crossbar. Going to be 2 calls here. First one is going to go to Jackson. The second one will go to Mitch Belisle. So, you know, a 2-man advantage here. What you're going to see here, folks, is Buffalo will probably put a man out high and play a box against a triangle here. No real advantage gained playing 5-on-3, but you give yourself much more shooting angles and passing angles going against the box, against the triangle here. So you'll see Buffalo put a man out high and go 4-on-3 here against the Swarm.
And now Jackson goes back to the player bench. Jay Card, who's the in-home, is in the Minnesota penalty box.
So maybe a bench minor there. And here we go. Wilson. Now Tavares. Williams. Tavares. Back to Williams. Pass out. Bounce shot goes wide. And another reason you keep that man out high there in Priola to keep the ball in play. Here's Williams, tries to shovel one in, and he does just that as it squeaks through.
Just a beautiful little quick stick there from Sean Williams, his second of the night. Cuts the lead to 3, 7-4 Minnesota. And that will bring one Swarm player out as Belial is back on the field.
Back to center we go. Thornbert and McIntosh on the draw, and McIntosh wins that one. Here comes Belial on the run. Thought about a shot and thinks better of that shorthanded. Chance to kill some time off here. Good decision there from Belial. Just over 5 minutes here to play in the opening half. It's 7-4 now for the Swarm. McIntosh in behind the goal, runs hard into Wagger, who came out of the crease. Here's McIntosh still going, and Wagger dives back in front of that one. Lost his bucket on that save. Heck of an effort there from J-Mac, but ambitious and dangerous play there from Wagger coming out of his goal. Almost got burnt.
Oh, but the fact McIntosh was able to hold on to the ball with a triple team behind the net was very impressive.
So now a 5-on-4 with Tavares to set up. Matt Williams will take his place. Outside shot coming, bounced it wide from Hopcroft. Bounding high in the air, Tavares comes down with it, tried to play it into the corner to Hominick, and he had vacated the zone, and smartly here, Tyler Haas is just gonna leave that ball.
Shot clock violation on Buffalo.
And we will get a timeout down on Treasure Island Field. 4:24 here to go in the quarter. We're back with the conclusion of the opening half right here on 45 TV right after this.
Here at Urban Village Salon Spa, just come to check out Masters get his haircut.
He's getting a mullet, so he's gonna look good.
Good luck, buddy.
Fans, I am here with Rebecca. She is a substitute at Minnetonka Middle School. So she's in need of some pampering, and she is going home with tonight's gift certificate to Urban Village Salon Spa. What do you think? Thank you! Fans, be sure to check out Urban Village at urbanvillagesalon.com.
The Hunt, Jake Elliott, Joe Moore with you. Swarm in possession, shorthanded here, finds a man in the middle. It's Corbin Tao, shoots it, scores! Quickly, shorthanded. Corbin Tao in the setup from Crawford. It's 8-4.
Beautiful cut by Tao and a nice spot. Tao with the finish, shorthanded goal. That is the 12th shorthanded goal of the season for Minnesota. Tied for the league lead in that category now.
Chelsea Dagger fires up once again as the goal dance in effect here inside the Hive, and Crawford just showing beautiful speed and athleticism, getting out of his own zone, and then a good pick there from Tao and rolled to the goal and set up and sticks it in the top corner. So no shorthanded goal for each team in this opening half, and Minnesota restores that 4-goal lead.
6th of the season for Corbin Tao. And another 5 tickets donated to youth organizations by Innovative Office Solutions. We are up to 40 now this evening.
Bandits remain on the man advantage here. Tavares up top. Tavares will shoot and he will score. As he does it one more time, John Tavares on the power play gets it right back here for the Bandits as Jay Card gets out of the penalty box. Almost a wash there with the shorthanded goal and a power play goal from Tavares. It's back to a 3-goal lead, but back to 5-on-5 lacrosse here with 4:01 to go.
Yeah, it just seems like every time John Tavares does anything, Jake,
adding to the record.
Adding to the record. That is goal number 777. Lucky sevens for Tavares.
Unbelievable career for John Tavares. As Thornburg comes in with a good chance. Picked up by Earl now. He's got McIntosh flanked out to the left. And Earl will peel back and slow things up as he bounces one for Crawford. Tough pass to handle now. Crawford's goes. He goes down low to McIntosh. Off the bench comes Jackson. Nobody's picked him up. Here's Jackson. Scores! Top corner, short side. Sugar Shane Jackson restores the 4-goal lead. What a shot, Joe Moore. Just stepped into it and labeled that short side top corner.
Yeah, you're right. Nobody picked him up, gave him an absolute perfect shooting lane, and yeah, he took full advantage. Here's a great replay right here.
Oh, mercy. You can't place it any better than that right there.
You know, in real time, Jake, I thought Wagner was a little slow getting over to that far post, but it looked like he got there. Just a better shot by Jackson.
No goaltender is stopping that one, as there's a good strip check from Dan Ball. Gilbert battling that loose ball. Now still bouncing around. Finally, Gilbert comes up with it. Can he get across the timeline in time? He does, but checked in front of his own bench here. Ball comes free. On the ground, picked up by David Earl. He's got McIntosh with him. Here comes Earl right in. Earl scores again! 10-5, Swarm.
Second of the quarter for David Earl. 5 more tickets donated by Innovative Office Solutions as the total runs to 50.
They set a team record last week, Joe, with 20. They're at 10 with 3 minutes to go in the first half still. And no sign of Anthony Cosmo still down on that Bandit bench, so it's going to be Wagner the rest of the way here, it looks like.
Well, I'll tell you, impressive. They have scored 25 goals now in the last 57 minutes of playing time.
Now a high hit on Ball. Bodies come together here in front of the Swarm bench. Now looks like cooler heads will prevail, as Priolo and McIntosh pushing and shoving.
More Priolo than McIntosh, yes, it looks like.
McIntosh just walking into the push every time. It'll be Bandit ball here with 2:54 to go in the opening half. David Earl. Here's Tavares. Hard pass, knocked down. Ball goes into the corner. Belial will be the first to get to it and comes up with a loose ball. And now he comes away. Got numbers. It's a 4-on-2. Belial to Benesh. Trailer as Belial works his way in and bounced it wide. Billick got checked from behind as he went after a loose ball. Still loose down there deep in the corner.
Well, right now they're counting off the 8 seconds, I believe, against Buffalo.
It's a mosh pit down in this near side corner, and we're going to get an 8-second violation against the Bandits. It'll be Swarm ball. It just kind of looks like the Swarm working a little bit harder than the Bandits right now, and it's paying off. Loose balls, such a key stat in the game of lacrosse, and usually when you win that loose ball battle, you win the game. It's really that simple, Joe.
No, you got to have the possessions to be able to score, so certainly makes sense.
You're saying I'm not crazy. Here's Williams. Wilson, no swing at the Hopcroft. Back to Critch inside. Back check there, and yes, that will be a call. It's going to come against Tyler Haas on Hopcroft as he laid the cross check across the numbers of Hopcroft. Here's room for Critch. Carlson the save and swoops up the loose ball. As Haas with a couple extra shots on his man after the whistle. I think he's trying to find somebody to take to the penalty box with him. And I don't think it's going to happen. This game definitely has some emotion into it, some feeling between these two teams. Of course, played the very first game of the season, and you know, a game that Minnesota led. We've touched on this a number of times, Joe, but outscored in that fourth quarter 6-3 and lost that game 13-12, and didn't quite get off to the start they were looking for, but a good start here. A minute and 27 to go, but going to find themselves shorthanded now with Tyler Haas in the penalty box. But up 5 goals here, 10-5. Your score with $1:27 to go in the half.
Well, you mentioned the first game, Buffalo winning this season. The team split the season series last year, but you look at the history of this series, and Buffalo has owned Minnesota throughout history. 14-4 the count.
Well, let's not forget the last game here between these two teams inside the Hive also featured a bench brawl. As Sorensen comes up with a loose ball, he wants to leg it. He's across center. No numbers, so he'll dish it off to Krepensek, who's battling that ball. Sorensen got pushed off that one. Now gets hammered down, no call. And he'll have to scamper back as the Bandits bring it forward into the final minute of play now. Tavares directing traffic. He wants Hominick at the shooter. Williams is up top. Hominick, backhand feed, Tavares. Williams, overhand shot blocked on the way through, and that's gonna sting somebody tomorrow. Out near center, and Williams just keeps it inside the restraining line. Now Sorensen has a man, has a lane. Here comes Sorensen right in, faking, save from Wagger. And Sorensen through the crease, first to touch the ball. So it'll be Bandit ball as Sorensen faked far side and tried to pull it back, and Wagger was right with him on that one. A huge stop as into the final possession now. Tavares with it, up top to Stainhouse. Finds Wilson off the bench. Stainhouse steps in. Tavares, backhand feed, Williams, look 5-hole, and stays out as Carlson got the stick on it in time. Gilbert gonna try one from long range. Wagger still down in between the pipes as the half comes to an end. The Swarm put up 10 on the Bandits, they get 5 of their own. Minnesota leads it by 5, 10-5 after 30 minutes of play inside the Hive. We'll take a break here on 45 TV and be back after this.
Tonight's game brought to you in part by Reebok. Redefine your game with Reebok's new Black line. Reebok Black, designed and engineered for the elite lacrosse player. Reebok's Black line features a lightweight and minimalistic design with carbon light technology. It's performance-driven, technology-driven, and NLL proven. You can find all the new Reebok lacrosse gear online at ReebokBlack.com.
And we'll keep it live here on the NLL Network. And Joe, the professor down there, interviewing Amy Caines, and tough news for Amy Caines today as he's coaching with a bit of a heavy heart. His dog hit by a car today and ended up passing away. And Amy, a pretty emotional guy before game time, and just want to give my best out to Amy and his family. It's never an easy thing losing a member of the family like that.
No, definitely not. And, you know, especially with little kids at home. I've got an old dog and older kids, and even at the advancing age of all my kids, yeah, it's never easy.
And speaking of little kids, I promised Hinda Kozakulp I would give her little boy Logan Culp a shout out on the NLL Network here, as well as I know she's back in Barrie, Ontario watching. Of course, her husband Chad Culp unable to go with a shoulder injury, I believe, out for the rest of the season. But a big hello to Hinda and Logan and Chad out there if you're listening. As let's talk about this first half a little bit here, Joe. 10-5, and you know, the goals keep coming here for the Minnesota Swarm. They 20 against Philadelphia, and they put up another 10 in this first half against the Buffalo Bandits.
Yeah, and chip in a rather productive second half against Washington 2 weeks ago, and it is an offense that's rolling and clicking on all cylinders right now. You know, and oftentimes here in Minnesota, it's the transition game that is going to get credit to get the offense in general rolling, and really that's kind of what we've seen yet again tonight.
Crawford continuing his strong play. You know, he's set up Matisse, he's set up Tao, he's set up Jackson, and I mean, what can you say about 98 really coming into his own here? I mean, he's always kind of been an elite player in this league, but you know, ever since Andrew Cedar went down and that C went on 98's jersey, he's really taken his game and his leadership to another level here, and it's, you know, it's pretty to watch some of the lacrosse he's playing right now.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, you just you know, not that he's an older player in the league, but he is certainly an older player on this Swarm roster. And just to see his maturation into the captaincy since Suter has gone down, I mean, his maturity level has increased. His confidence is just off the charts right now.
You know, Benesh has been pretty quiet, but Shane Jackson stepping up on that far side with a couple of goals, and Josh Gillum continues to get chances as well. And McIntosh off to a good start as well. And you talk about what makes the Minnesota Swarm successful, and we've talked about it a number of times, Joe, but it's when you can get that balanced attack. And last week against the Philadelphia Wings, 11, 12 different players getting in on the goal scoring. And, it looks like it's going to continue here this evening.
Yeah, and that was, a kind of a tale of two halves last week. It was the offense really only flowed through about 3 players that first half against Philadelphia. You mentioned it. They end up with 11 different goal scorers in the game. And trying to take a quick peek down the stat sheet here, it looks like they've already got 6 different goal scorers here this evening. Credit the power play.
Yes.
4 power play goals there in the first half for Minnesota. That's not something we're necessarily used to here inside the Hive, but as I mentioned during the first half, it is a power play unit that seems to be gaining its confidence as the season goes on as well.
Well, you can probably credit the coaching staff with a little bit of that too. They've, really spent extra time and focused on the man advantage and the special teams for that matter, the short man as well, and, dedicated some extra time in practice to that man advantage and seems to be paying off. The ball is moving around. Toronto is probably the premier, well, it is, never mind, probably, the premier power play in this league, and you watch how quickly they move the ball, and the Swarm's starting to show signs of that. Really, when you can get that ball hopping around all those 5 different positions on the floor, it really stretches out that defense and starts to get the goaltender moving back and forth across his goal line, and that's how you open up those shooting angles, and that's what's made the Swarm a little bit more successful on that man advantage so far.
The one thing that we have not mentioned or really talked about so far, Jake, is the goaltending.
Yes.
Tyler Carlson had such a great game 2 weeks ago against Washington, and I think we were both surprised when he did not start last week against Philadelphia. Gets the start here. Evan Kirk played against Buffalo way back in Game 1, so a little different look for the Bandits tonight with Carlson in goal, but 19 saves and 24 shots in the first half.
Yeah, I'm probably lucky. We should mention the Swarm do go into Philadelphia. A quick turnaround as they'll play an afternoon game in Philadelphia. So, they'll probably try and obviously they'll try and take care of business here tonight, but they'll get out of here relatively quickly right after the game and get to the hotel and try and get to bed early and they're going to be up early and into Philadelphia. And you talk about goaltending, and Evan will probably get the start in Philadelphia tomorrow night as they'll keep that rotation going, but you never know. And Carlson continues his strong play, and it's amazing what the confidence that will come out of your defense when your goaltender behind you is playing well, and it's amazing what the confidence will give to the offense when the defense is playing well, and it all kind of goes hand in hand, and it really does. Not just with this team, but every team starts in goal. When you believe in your goaltender that he's going to give you a chance to win the game, it really just lifts the whole team up and makes everybody believe that anything is possible.
Jake, all great points. I'm sitting here looking at Treasure Island Field, and I'm blown away by what we're watching.
Yeah, yes, we forgot to mention the wedding is about to take place down here on Treasure Island Field, and I believe the young lady that is getting married as she's making her way out onto the Treasure Island Field now is an intern here with the Swarm. I'm not going to say that I know the young lady's name down there, but, it's pretty cool that she would want to do this on her wedding day, how much this team must mean to her that she wants to have and celebrate her special day right here on Treasure Island Field in front of 10,000 people down there and get married down a National Lacrosse League game. One of the cooler stories we're probably going to see here this year in the National Lacrosse League.
Well, now we can say we've seen almost everything at a Swarm lacrosse game.
Yes, and let's get back to the goaltending thing here a little bit, Joe, and probably we mentioned the first quarter, but probably the biggest story in this game remains, and not that Curtis Wager has played poorly or anything, but Anthony Cosmo, regarded as one of the premier goaltenders in this league, went down with what we can only speculate as an injury. I didn't quite pick it up. It looked like he was limping just a bit on his way down to the dressing room, but kind of disappeared down the tunnel. And always tough for a backup goaltender to get thrown into a game, especially that early when you're really not ready or expecting to go into the game. It's different when you can kind of see a team go on a run and you can get yourself mentally prepared thinking, okay, I'm probably going to have to come into this game the way things are going. But it was only 3-1 at the time, and Curtis Wager probably thinking, not quite ready yet. And then all of a sudden, get in the goal, you got to go, and no warm-up. And it's not, like I said, not that he's played poorly, but tough circumstances to come into the net for Curtis Weigart.
Yeah, certainly is, and and we'll try to get word as to what exactly the situation is with Anthony Cosmo, and purely speculation on my part here, Jake. But he left after the third Minnesota goal. That is the one that Buffalo ended up putting into their own net.
Right.
Cosmo made that initial save, kind of spun around to see where that ball ended up before it ended up just over the goal line, and I wonder if he somehow twisted a knee, an ankle, pulled a groin or something, moving to the right.
Really.
But it is pure speculation. But, it was after that goal and that exchange that he walked over to the bench and kind of had a discussion with Darius Kilgore, and all of a sudden off to the dressing room he went. And
the ring presentation about to take place here. And I don't want to speculate again here, Joe, but a very young couple down here, a very good-looking couple as well, and they're taking the plunge early here, as they say, Joe.
Somebody's going to have to pass the tissue. I always break up at these things.
Yes. I think we're getting a note here from maybe the bride's name. Is that what we got there?
Sarah is the bride.
There you go. And it's official, Joe Moore.
Darren is the groom.
I guess it's never quite official until the marriage is, Joe, consummated. But they have kissed, the rings are on, and they're married. We'll take a break here on the National Lacrosse League Network. 6.5 minutes to go before the start of quarter number 3. Your score, 10-5, Minnesota over the Bandits. Quarter 3 coming right up, right here on the Lacrosse Network, powered by U2.
But we can throw T-shirts. So let's celebrate the couple with our Summit T-shirt toss. Get up and make some noise for the newlyweds. And maybe you'll get a T-shirt flying your way. Swarm fans, we've been telling you all season long that the best way to experience the Swarm is as a season ticket holder. And starting in 2014, that experience just gets better with the addition of a 9th regular season home game. Season ticket holders, your 2014 renewal information is available now at the sales and service booth or online at mnswarm.com/renew. Renew, buy new, or upgrade your season tickets today. Consider going on the glass with complimentary beer, wine, and soda in the Treasure Island Ice Lodge and enjoy underground parking. Renew early, and not only will you save some cash, but you'll also be eligible for exclusive experiences, including a lunch with Swarm players, appearances by Buzz, and winning the jersey right off the back of your favorite player after the April 20th game. Get all the information you need at mnswarm.com/renew. Ramada Mall of America. Just a short drive from the airport and an even shorter drive to the Mall of America. The Ramada is the perfect place for a weekend staycation or to book corporate meetings or even weddings. Please visit RamadaMOA.com or contact the Ramada directly for the special Swarm fan rate of just $79.
Every day we do lots of sitting. We sit at work or school. We sit in the car. We sit while we play games or watch TV. We're not active, and that leads to weight problems. Let's stand up and get moving.
Be sure to catch tonight's game replay Sunday, April 7th on 45 TV. Game starts at 4 p.m. Check your local listings to find 45 TV with your provider. SwarmRewards.com is the newest way to keep up with the Minnesota Swarm online. Earn points and prizes just for talking about the Swarm on Facebook and Twitter, checking in on Foursquare, or sharing a picture with the Toyota Crowd Cameo. Check out SwarmRewards.com to start earning points today. Be social, win prizes. Please welcome to the field members of the Hudson Lacrosse Association as our halftime cheer tunnel.
All right, lacrosse fans, welcome back on 45 TV as we get set for the start of the third quarter here inside the Hive. Jake Elliott, Joe Moore with you. And Joe, 10-5, your score after 30 minutes of play here in a well-balanced offensive attack and a strong goaltending performance so far from Tyler Carlson has the Swarm out front by 5 here, 10-5, but we'll start the second half shorthanded.
Well, the Swarm are doing it in all phases of the game. They're getting the good goaltending from Tyler Carlson, 19 saves and 24 shots in that first half. They're getting it through transition. They have 4 power play goals. They have a shorthanded goal. Obviously, then that leaves 5 even strength goals, 7 different goal scorers in the first half. You know, you draw up a recipe for Minnesota Swarm lacrosse, and that first half kind of encapsulated it.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. As Callum Crawford continues his point production. McIntosh off to a good start in the face-off dot as well, but it looks like Krepensek will take this draw as Swarm shorthanded. Don't want to get trapped out, and Krepensek, one of the members of the short man unit, probably with some face-off experience as well as the RIT Tiger alum, will draw against Jay Thornburg.
Yep, still 33 seconds left on Tyler Haas's checking from behind penalty to start this second half. Buffalo 1 for 3 on the power play tonight. Minnesota, very impressive, 4 for 5 in that opening half.
That is impressive stats for sure. What is that, Joe, 80%?
That is 80%.
Not bad, not bad. Here we go with quarter number 3. Carlson, and it's Curtis Wagar back in between the pipes, and no Anthony Cosmo down on that pitch. As we're underway here in quarter 3 as Thornburg wins the draw. 25 seconds left in the penalty time to Tyler Haas. And here come the Bandits. And John Tavares and Sean Williams. Hopcroft and Wilson. Hominuk, the 5th man out there. There's Williams. We'll start the motion across the top. 10 on the shot clock here for Wilson. Looks inside, nobody open. Hopcroft tried to pass across, goes in between 2 players. Now Williams, 3 on the shot clock here. Time winding down. I don't think he realizes how much time was left as Carlson takes a late shot there. As the Bandits just had no idea how much time left in the shot clock. And that's just, you know, not being mentally aware of your surroundings there, Joe.
No, penalty kill for Minnesota to start the second half.
Skip past to Crawford as he looks into the middle. Petkoff marked up on him. Crawford's going to spin off a check. Diving shot. They wave it off in the crease. Crawford wants the challenge flag here from Sullivan.
No, he definitely
he's looking for the replay up on the big screen here, and none coming yet.
Yeah, definitely had a foot in the crease on that one.
So he says no, and a save from Carlson. Pretty early in the half to use up your challenge for that second half as well, Joe. You never know when that's going to come in handy later in the half. So, and now an 8-second violation as Billick looks at the shot clock and said it was at 22 and I'm across the line. How can he blow that down? I think he's got a case. Quick call there from the referee. Yes, fans on TV side. 8 seconds to get it out of your own defensive zone and into the offensive zone there. Swarm unable to do that on that occasion. So here's Stainhouse. Swim move. Wilson rolls to the goal. Stainhouse with a shot saved from Carlson. As Belial bounces off a check. Goes ahead to Earl. Picks it up as Tavares tried to steal that one away. Earl 2-on-2. Card speeding onto the floor. Late man coming is Benesh. As Matt Gibson out there for a shift on offense. Here's Crawford inside. Tao couldn't handle the pass. Looked like he went through the crease. And first to touch the ball, but they let that one go.
I was thinking the same thing there, Jake.
Shot clock winding down. There'll be a shot clock violation on Minnesota. It'll be Buffalo ball here with 12:33 to go here in quarter number 3.
Yeah, we saw Crawford on the last possession go in the crease, denying him that goal. He did have a goal in the first half, but 5 assists for Callum in the first half.
All far side here with Williams. Goes to Wilson. Can't get the shot off as Haas closed the gap. Now damp ball will force Williams down low. Got some rim, looked short side, and Carlson did not bite on that one. Just stayed snugged up against that short side post and no trouble with that one. Shots on goal now 27-24 in favor of Buffalo, who trail by 5.
When I tell you what, that is a sign of a confident goalie. We've seen Carlson come way out to cut some angles down, and that time just stood his ground very patiently.
Here's Matisse. Out high to McIntosh. A little trouble with that one as he gives it right back to Matisse down to the corner. Set play as McIntosh cuts through. Now Crawford. Sidearm shot there, and Wagner down makes the stop. Here comes Stainhouse. Into the corner, Hopcroft. Goes rink wide. Down into the corner to Williams. Backdoor cut. Critch with a shot. Gets his own rebound. Ball just laying harmlessly out in front of the goal. And it's skipped up by Tyler Haas.
Delayed call looks like against Buffalo.
Carlson to the bench. Extra attacker on. As Jackson will get things set up here. Lots of time on the shot clock. 17 now. As the 6th attacker in McIntosh comes out. Benesh and Crawford up top. McIntosh in the middle. Jackson, Tao, and Gillum out there. Here's Benesh. Hard pass down to Tao. Inside to McIntosh. Deflected. And Glenn Bryan will touch the ball to get the call. As Chris Williams makes the call. A roughing call on Stainhouse.
So Minnesota back on the power play where, as we just mentioned, they are at 80% tonight, 4 for 5.
Back to the man advantage they go here and been deadly on it. There's a little conversation from Billy D. Smith and company trying to solve this mystery that is the Minnesota power play. Is this going to be a 2-man advantage here? It is, Joe. 2 Bandits in the box here, and it's going to be a 5-on-3 as now we'll get a horn here. So I think a little confusion down in the timekeeper's box on what exactly the calls are here. It's Critch. Maybe a bench minor for unsportsmanlike here, Joe. We'll try and pick up the call for you. Regardless, a 2-man advantage here as McIntosh will play out hot. Here's Crawford, Benesh, Jackson cutting as Crawford goes down to Matisse. Can't dunk it. So he'll take it in behind the goal. Circles back to a strong side. Goes to Crawford, loads up, backhand feed Matisse. Finds Benesh, but the pass just too high. Still time here, 10 seconds on the shot clock as it goes back to Benesh. Down to Jackson. Hard pass, Crawford has some rim, loads, fires, rebound, Matisse scores! We saw it last week, carbon copy right there, Joe Moore. Matisse picks up the rebound off of Wagner and sticks it right back in the goal. Power play marker for the Moose. Say something, Joe Moore. How about it?
I am speechless. I am speechless. Kyle Matisse is just all season long, Jake. At the top of the crease, he is just there picking up loose balls. Power play goal that time. That's his 2nd goal tonight.
He loves to go to the front of the net. And Wagner made the stop off of Crawford with the shoulder, and it just popped right into the stick of Matisse, who does most of it, well, pretty much all his damage 10 feet and in.
So that one brought Stainhouse out still. Power play opportunity for Minnesota.
Now a 5-on-4. Here's Crawford down low. Matisse right back in the middle. Here's Benesh out high. Goes back down to Crawford. Hard to take that. Oh, a hard check there on Crawford, who is down and slow to get up. Here's Benesh, and he scores, and that's the way to make him pay. Right there from Benny. Another power play marker. They are 6 for 7, Joe, and it's 12-5 Swarm.
And another 5 tickets donated to local youth organizations by Innovative Office Solutions. A special thank you to Innovative Office Solutions for helping send so many kids to the Hive. We are up to 60 tonight.
And the tally continues here. Lots of time left in this third quarter. Loose ball up for grabs off the draw, and it's picked up by David Earl in the Minnesota Swarm. Here comes Earl. He's got 2 on the night. Sticks it in the right hand and bounces one out high. So Greg Downing out of Fairfield. McIntosh now far side. David Brock watching him. Here's Jay Card, shoots it right on, and Wagger the save. As Card got buried by Brown now after the shot. Here come the Bandits and Aaron Wilson. 9 minutes here to go in quarter 3. Sean Williams looks out high. Keto Hill out there for a shift on Oak. Wiles, all sorts of room for Williams to shoot, and Carlson throws out the leg. Another shot comes in, and another save from Carlson. You know, a couple of goals here from the Swarm, Joe, and then Carlson, you know, that's what you need out of your goaltender. You don't need big, flashy, humongous saves, just timely saves right there, and Carlson standing tall.
And that's exactly what that was. The defense in front of him kind of scrambling there a little bit as you saw a couple of rebounds get picked up by Buffalo, but Carlson picking his teammates up.
Here's Crawford to Benesh. Double teamed. Lost the ball into the corner. Billy D. Smith shoulders Benesh hard. And all wrapped up in the advertising down there on Treasure Island Field. We'll take the break here on 45 TV. 8:14 to go. Swarm out by 7 now. It's 12-5. We're back right after this.
Treasure Island Resort and Casino is proud to be the presenting sponsor of the Minnesota Swarm. Coming up at Treasure Island, catch Billy Gardell Friday, April 26th at 8 p.m. He'll be live in the Island Event Center. More information can be found at www.ticasino.com.
All right, lacrosse fans, welcome back inside XL Energy Center, Treasure Island Field. Jake Elliott, Joe Moore with you. 8:08 to go here in quarter number 3. 12-5, the Swarm lead over the Bandits. Buffalo in possession here with Sean Williams. Hard pass brought in nicely by Hopcroft. Goes right back to Williams, down to the crease to Tavares. Damn ball all over him. Steenhouse wide open in front, and Carlson denies him.
Nice cut from Stainhouse right on top of Carlson.
Well,
good catch out of a pass that was behind him.
Well, breakdown on the defensive end there for the Swarm, and the goaltender bails him out once again. Here comes Jake Carr. Out to Benesh. Swing pass here to Gibson. Gibson has taken 4 shots in the NLL and scored on 3 of them. 75%, Joe. Here's McIntosh. Backhand shot goes wide.
The math major in the booth.
Yes, far from it. Here's Alex Keto Hill. Finds Wilson off the bench. Earl will track him. Haas thought about a double team, then thinks better of that, as he'll pick up Tavares. Now Wiles. Hard pass JT. Into the corner it goes to Hominick. He'll come across the top on the run. Backdoor cut, Wilson. Ball comes to Haas. One man to beat, and Luke Wiles. Big number 9 going to leg it out. Just runs right by Wiles. Here comes Haas. Scores! No, they wave it off, and I think we should get a challenge here.
And here it comes.
Yes. Sullivan, not quite the arm that he got on it last game. Gets it out near center. Told me he had developed a technique down there, Joe, to get distance on that flag. Didn't quite see it on that one, but we'll get a replay on the Tyler Haas goal as he just turned Luke Wiles inside out and then just ran right by him and put it in, and we'll see. Tyler Haas usually pretty good about staying. He loves to get in tight before he shoots the ball and usually has a foot over top of the crease when he shoots. And we'll have to have a look here as we'll get the behind angle from Haas, as we can't quite tell from that angle there.
He faked, he shoots, that's in, and now he's in the crease.
Yes, but is that foot before he shoots? We need the overhead look here, Joe, and here it is. And you can't tell there as his body blocks his foot.
Which is unfortunate for Tyler Haas because the
call on the field
is that he was in the crease.
Well, let's see it one more time here if we can slow it down in super slow-mo here for you. Great production crew at the XL Energy Center, and I think that is outside the crease, Joe. And again, you need that conclusive evidence to overturn it, but if you slow that right down, I think you can see the foot as we'll get another angle here. That's the foot that's in question right there, and you can't see the crease line from that angle. The referee has made his decision, it looks like.
The referee was looking, I was looking at the referee to see when he started to wave that off as to which foot was on the ground when it came.
Signal is a goal! And I kind of had a feeling, Joe, when he was talking to the timekeeper, and it had to be probably how much time to put back on the game clock there as he took a little bit extra time to step back out. And they award Tyler Haas the goal. It's 13-5.
And Tavares and Williams very unhappy. They were talking to the referee. They were talking to Greg Pepper while Chris Williams was reviewing his initial call.
Good challenge there from Joe Sullivan as the call gets overturned, and Tyler Haas gets one in the goal department. Shots on goal are dead even at 30 apiece. The big difference is the Swarm have 13, the Bandits have 5. Here's Stainhouse across the top, pick and roll, and a penalty call coming up here to Downing as he took down Wilson. Wagger to the bench, 6th attacker out onto Treasure Island Field. Here's Hopcroft, loads up the bomb, skips it to Williams, a rising sub shot wide of the goal as the whistle will go.
And that came after the shot clock expired, would not have counted anyway.
Greg Downing will make his way to the cubicle of shame here with a holding violation.
Well, Jake, one thing that really stood out last week in that second half against Philadelphia, Minnesota scored 15 goals on 28 shots. Since the end of the first quarter here tonight, they have 10 goals in 19 shots. That shooting percentage is outrageous.
That is just off the charts, Joe. You don't see that. So Hopcroft, Wilson near side, Williams up top. Hominick and Tavares out there. Here's Williams to Hopcroft. You haven't seen that bomb from Hopcroft quite yet. He can really launch it. Here's Hominick, backhand feed. Williams over the top, rolls on the goal line, and Gilbert keeps it out. How many times have we saw that over the last couple of games? We saw Keto Hill put one into his own goal. Now Gilbert in all sorts of trouble. Just tries to throw one out near center.
8-second call there on Minnesota.
Manny with the #1 play on SportsCenter last week here inside the Hive, keeping a ball outside the goal. Similar play there from Jeff Gilbert. Here's Tavares, rings one off the pipe. Ricochets all the way around here for Hamina. 5:20 to go. Inside kick, save there from Carlson as he is dialed in right now, Joe. Just threw out that right leg and turned it away.
Nice save and a great scoop of that rebound by Belisle.
I mean, the reaction time there from Carlson is amazing as that one came from point blank range. Now Tau dips under a check, runs into a triple team, still going is Tau, and he's going to pull this ball out. Down to 6 on the shot clock. And he'll just roll it into the corner. Heads up play there from 84. As under 5 minutes we go. Still 37 seconds left in the penalty time to Greg Downing. Steinhaus out there on the power play this time. Wiles as well. Tavares out top. Steinhaus. Backhand feed Wiles. Steinhaus. Tavares steps in. Skip pass. Wilson off the crossbar and the post, excuse me. New 30 to work with here for the Bandits. Tavares loads up, fires to Carlson down and has it underneath him. As with 4:15 here to go in quarter number 3. And the Swarm in control up by 8. We'll take it a break here on 45 TV.
Okay, fans, it's time for the KFAM Visiting Coaches Cam. Let's go down to the bench. We're all mic'd up down there. Let's hear what the coach has to say.
Okay, listen up, you guys. Here's my top 5 list of reasons you know you're from Buffalo. Ready? You know you're from Buffalo if number 5 in the winter months, the total snowfall and number of inches is greater than the number of goals we'll score all season. I'm leaving, I don't care. Number 4, your idea of a world vacation is crossing the border and shopping at a Toronto Walmart. Number 3, you know the best thing to come out of Buffalo is...
Fans, don't forget to be interactive on the webcast here on the NLL Network and the Lacrosse Network. Get at me at Twitter, twitter.com/PXP, the number 4, LAX, PXP for Lax.
And the number 1 reason you know you're from Buffalo, you can buy an outfit, activate your cell phone, and buy lunch at the corner liquor store.
And that's the KFAM Visiting Coaches Camp. Tune in to Men's College Basketball Championship game this Monday night at 7 p.m. on the Fan. Minnesota station for sports is FM 100.3 The Fan. They do the Harlem Shake.
Play back underway here inside the Hive. Jake Elliott, Joe Moore with you, and back to even strength we go as Downing out of the penalty box, so the Swarm kill it off. Here's Crawford down low, in behind the goal. Stops up and spins back to his strong side on Seddons. Finds McIntosh out top. Back to Crawford, quick pass to Jackson. Here comes a pick from Benesh. Flip pass to him. Swing pass, Crawford, all sorts of room, steps in. Down to the crease to McIntosh. And just ran out of time as the Swarm were whipping it around, but never got a shot on goal.
And another successful penalty kill for Minnesota. 3 out of 4 now this evening.
Shot from Thornbert early in the shot clock goes wide of the goal. And David Earl will bring it back the other way. 3:25 here to go in quarter 3. Here comes Josh Gillen. Down low to Matt Gibson. He'll lob one out high to Benesh. It goes down into the corner to Jake Hart. Lowers in the shoulder on Alex Kiddo Hill. Card steps back, goes to Tao, and that one too high to handle as Wagger will pick that one off. Well, Gibson tried to slow down transition. Here's Stainhouse with a long bomb, and you can tell Buffalo a frustrated team right now, Joe, shooting early in the shot clocks, not great shooting angles, and, you know, quite frankly, a little bit of selfish play here.
Yeah, there just seems to be no rhyme nor reason to the offensive sets right now, especially those last two possessions. There was no offensive set.
Billick out there for a shift on offense. High pass for Jackson, who brings that one in. Jackson just seems to gather everything. And here's Matisse, here's McIntosh. It's in the goal. Original shot from Matisse. Rebound came to McIntosh, and he sticks it in for the hat trick goal there for 24. It's a 9-goal lead now, Joe, 14-5.
And we are up to 70 tickets given away by Innovative Office Solutions this evening. Our thanks to Innovative Office Solutions for sending so many kids to the Hive. And Jake, you mentioned the offensive breakdown. That time, a defensive breakdown for Buffalo. Not one, but two Swarm players there together in rebounds.
There's Keto Hill in behind the goal. Belial cuts his path off. Now it's Luke Wiles. Darts into the middle. Feeds Tavares. Tavares right back to Luke Wiles. Loads up, fires, and an easy stop there from Carlson as he just flashed up the arm and turned that one right into the corner. You know, when you're controlling the rebounds where you want them to go, Joe, you're dialed in and focused. You're in the zone, as they say. Earl battles for a loose ball and comes away with it. Shakes off a check, gets tripped up, no call. I think that's a case where the referees might have had a look at the scoreboard there, Joe, and said play on.
And despite all that, he maintained possession.
Gibson back out there for another shift, finds Josh Gillum off the half wall. Gillum in behind the goal now. Crawford faking. Wagger doesn't know which way to go. Crawford tried to slam it on the short side, and Wagger, I think, just got a piece of it. Hopcroft will leave it there for Wilson. Minute and 10 here to go in quarter three. Here's Stainhouse. Williams, all sorts of rim. Bounce shot comes in on Carlson. Stick save there. Battle for the loose ball, and Jeff Gilbert will scoop it up. Finds Brock Sorensen. Across the line comes Benesh. Into the final minute now is Matisse. David Brock watches him. Here comes a good pick from McIntosh. Matisse into the middle. Stops up. Dangles down low. Oh, tried to shovel in front to Tao. Ball knocked down. Here's McIntosh with a shot. Big rebound comes right to Jackson. Scores! Hat-trick goal for Shane Jackson as he finds the top corner.
Hat-trick for McIntosh just moments ago. Hat-trick now for Shane Jackson.
Everything going right here for the Swarm tonight, Joe.
And really, it's just a continuation of what we have seen this entire three-game homestand over the last 3 weekends, Jake.
And about 9,000 people inside the Hive here getting an upper body workout with the goal dance down there. Making me tired just watching them. Violation off the draw. We'll give the ball to the Bandits here with 30 seconds to play in the quarter. About a 1-2 second differential between game clock and shot clock here for the Bandits. Feet inside. Ball knocked away. Gilbert again. Quick pass to Earl. Does Sullivan want Carlson to the bench for the extra attacker? Up 10, I don't think so. So they'll just play this 5-on-5 here, down to 3 seconds. Jackson holding out high. And we'll just let the quarter come to an end. They had 10 at halftime. They put up another 5 here in the third quarter. The Bandits get none in that quarter, Joe Moore. It's a 10-goal lead here for the Swarm after 3. We'll be back with fourth quarter action right here on 45 TV right after this.
Fans, learn more about the lives of your favorite NLL players away from the game on Push Page, the new social media site hosted by athletes and celebrities. It's a place to interact and ask questions directly to your favorite players. Visit pushpage.me and click People to see a list of NLL players with push pages. You can find Minnesota's own Andrew Suter on PushPage by visiting pushpage.me/suits20. You'll find out that his first car was a Pontiac G6 and his favorite snack is sunflower seeds. Check out the page. Ask the captain a question. It's all from PushPage.
Hey, Swarm fans, make sure you don't miss a minute of the action. Show your Swarm ticket to receive free rides before and after every home game on all Metro Transit buses and trains. Visit metrotransit.org/swarm for more details. The 2013 NCAA Men's Lacrosse Championships return to Philadelphia May 25th to the 27th, hosted by Drexel University. Watch the nation's best compete at Lincoln Financial Field. 3 days, 3 championships. It's the ultimate lacrosse experience starting at just $70. Get your tickets today. Visit ncaa.com/lacrosse. Welcome to the Toyota Tailgate. Tonight's lucky winners are the Sean Monahan and friends. Tonight, these fans get free Swarm merchandise, novelties, free food and beverage, exclusive seating before the game, and on-the-glass seats to enjoy a night of exciting Swarm lacrosse action. Thanks to Toyota, the official vehicle partner of the Minnesota Swarm, the Monahan clan. All right, fans, it's time for the Toyota Crowd Cameo. You've been submitting your photos during the game. Now it's time to see if you made the cut. Check out the video board for today's photos. Be sure to check out swarmcrowdcameo.com to vote for your favorite photos. Yeehaw!
Fans, welcome back inside the Hive, Treasure Island Field, XL Energy Center. Jake Elliott, Joe Moore with you as we get set for the start of the fourth quarter. And Joe, 10-5 after 30 minutes of play, 15-5 after 45 minutes of play. Swarm get 5, Buffalo get nothing in that third quarter. And, the Swarm train just keeps on rolling here.
Yeah, and that makes it 12-2 in favor of the Swarm in the second and third quarters. And this is exactly what Darius Kilgore, the Buffalo head coach, talked about this week, Jake, is we end up on the wrong side of the run almost every single week. He said we always have the one quarter. Well, tonight they've had 2 quarters. The Swarm have absolutely taken it to them.
Well, I know the fans in Bandit Land, the patience are wearing thin with this Bandit team, and in particular Darius Kilgore, is a lot of them feel like it's time for a change in Buffalo as far as the coaching staff goes. And I've had a chance to get to meet Darius Kilgore a couple of times, and a man that was just an unbelievable player and a guy that probably knows the game better than, 95% of the population. But sometimes after a coach has been with an organization for as long as Darius has, the message just gets stale, and that's, the business of pro sports. Sometimes it's just time for a change, and I'm not saying it is, and I'm not saying it's not, but it might be.
Well, you look at Darius, you look at Tavares, you look at Sean Williams, and it's a team that's had a lot of success over the years, but the mainstays of that success, they've been there a long time. It's an aging team that is trying to get younger. Right now, it's just really kind of the defensive end that's gotten young for Buffalo, and with that, some inexperience, and I think that's what's led to Cosmo not having the season he's used to, and we've kind of seen Wager get hung out to dry a few times here tonight as well.
And, of course, missing their superstar phenom 5th pick overall, Dane Smith, here with, I believe, what's a bit of an injury, as Earl comes up with another loose ball. And, with 3 games remaining in the season and only 1 team missing the playoffs out of the 9 teams here, tough to make a coaching change this late in the season if that's what you're so inclined to do. But we'll see what happens. There's still time to play here and still time left in this season. Here's Crawford off the wall. Swim move and a good one. Crawford in behind the goal. Dunk attempt. Where is it? It's in front of Wager. Oh, and a shot to the back of the head there from Jake Hard by Wager. Now Priolo gives him a shot.
Well, and I don't know what that was all about.
I think he made a bit of contact there with Wagger, but nothing egregious. And probably just a frustrated goaltender there. As Carlson makes the stop and finds it down in between the legs. Hard pass right up the middle of the ball. That one tipped off of his stick. Loose ball battle now, and Wagger's got it. And something the Swarm are going to have to be at least aware of here is sometimes with the score lopsided in one favor or the other, things can get rather chippy here in the game of lacrosse, and we'll see if that happens. As a nice little split dodge there from Downing.
Certainly was, and you know, not only is it just this game that things getting one-sided, but Buffalo coming in riding a 5-game losing streak. And it's not like they've lost 1-goal games either, Jake. They have been getting blown out for the last month.
Here's Gibson from behind the goal. Stops up, spins back to his strong side. And seeing a toe in the crease there from Gibby. As they'll give it back to the Bandits here 3 minutes into quarter number 4. 2 Swarm players up for the double team. As Critch gathers in. Quick pass, overhand shot from Wiles. A stop from Carlson, now a breakout here from Sorensen. Lob pass over the top is on the mark. Drops it in the bucket. Here's Sorensen, scores! 5-hole past Wagger. And Sorensen on the board. It's 16-5.
And another shot through the 5-hole for Minnesota. We've seen several now sneak through Wagger just like that.
And another 5 tickets from Innovative Office Solutions, who donate 5 tickets for every Swarm home goal scored inside the Hive to local youth organizations to get kids out to the game.
4th goal of the season for the rookie Brock Sorensen, his 8th point, and he becomes the 10th different goal scorer tonight for Minnesota.
Here comes McIntosh looking for 4 and scoring. It is a bloodbath here inside the Hive. It's 17-5.
I mean, I'm running out of things to say, Jake. This is incredible.
Well, they put up 20 against Philadelphia. That, of course, was a team record, and that's 17 now, and still lots of time here, Joe, and things have just gone sideways here for the Bandits.
And, of course, Wagger came in relief back in the first quarter. You can't change back because Anthony Cosmo's not even on the Buffalo bench right now.
They could if Cosmo was there, but he's not. So it's going to be Wagger the rest of the way here. And here comes Jackson looking for 4, and he rips it off the shaft. Or was it the post there behind Wagger? Swarm come up with the ball here and a new 30 to work with. All cylinders firing right here for the Swarm tonight. Crawford. Benesh can't handle that one. Priolo all over him. Brock goes after a diving play there from Crawford. Knocks that ball free for Tau. You know, up 12 goals, and the captain making plays like that, diving down on the turf. Here's Benesh over the top, and a shoulder save from Wagger.
Well, not only diving out on the turf, but he was taken very hard into the end wall back in the third quarter, got up kind of holding the neck awkwardly, so for him to make that play, apparently no ill effects.
Priolo and Benesh having words, as Priolo has got the stick up a number of times here this evening. Now Krepinset comes up with a loose ball. Crawford wants to run with him. Billick as well. It's a 3-on-2. Here's Crawford right in. Crawford 5-hole scores.
Another 5-hole goal for Minnesota. Crawford, his second tonight. That gives him 9 points in this game to go along with 7 assists, those 2 goals.
The goals are flowing like the Mississippi River here tonight inside the Hive, Joe. It is unbelievable, the production that's coming here from Minnesota.
And the offensive production as impressive as, you know, we've ever seen in Minnesota. You mentioned the 20 goals last week, a team record. Not to be lost in all this, Jake, the last time Tyler Carlson was in goal, he only gave up 5 goals to Washington. Right now sitting on 5 with just over 10 minutes to play.
Yes, the team record 4. So no hope there for Carlson, but you know, the goals against average is definitely going to come down again here this evening.
And that save percentage just jumping wildly up the ladder.
Started the evening at 10.9 and 77%, so do the math. It's going to go. I'm not doing that math, Joe. I don't have my abacus with me. Here's McIntosh out top. 9 points for Crawford so far here this evening. Jackson, hard pass. McIntosh with a bomb that just missed. I think that caught Matisse off the end boards on the way back. Timeout down on Treasure Island Field. Swarm in full control here inside the Hive. We're back with more fourth quarter action right here on 45 TV after this.
You're the best. Because tonight's attendance is 10,167. Thank you and way to go, Swarm fans. Give yourselves a nice round of applause for being.
Just announcing the attendance here inside the Hive, and I want to pass this number along. Biggest crowd of the year so far, Joe. 10,167 here inside XL Energy Center. And a big thank you to all the fans, and kudos to them.
And boy, are they watching and having some fun here in St. Paul tonight.
And from one more game to come inside the Hive here as well, and that will come on April 20th against the Colorado Mammoth, the final game of the season here for the Swarm. As we'll take another short break and be back with more fourth quarter action right here on the NLL Network.
Ticket holder. I am joined by Hunter, Carrie, and Gail. Gail, they have been season ticket holders for 5 years now, and you guys have already renewed. What are the perks that fans should know about when they want to renew their tickets?
Well, when you do it early, you get a discount on seats. We get a Hockey Lodge discount. We get free parking. We're invited to a lot of VIP events that nobody else gets to go to.
It sounds like a win-win for everyone involved.
Absolutely.
And Hunter, you wanted to say something as well.
Go Swarm!
Well done.
Go Swarm! All right. Fans, I say right now would be a great time to stand up and honor our goaltender here tonight. Oh, and while you're up, I believe Rudy has something to play for you.
All right, lacrosse fans, welcome back inside the Hive. 45 TV, Jake Elliott, Joe Moore with you. 9:20 to here to go, quarter four. Ball coming in on Carlson. And Wilson through the crease. Look out, that should be delay a game, and he's going to get caught. And that's just a frustrated Aaron Wilson and a frustrated Buffalo Bandit down there as he just threw that ball into the corner. And a delay a game call here against the Bandits. As you, on the turnover, Joe, are instructed to place the ball down on the field and move away from that ball. And Wilson just... up by Glenn Bryant. He'll leg it out himself up and over center, being chased down by Crawford. Plays it back to Priolo. Lobs one across, and high heat there for Stainhouse to handle. Hopcroft will set a screen for him. Stainhouse, dangerous one-on-one player. He's going to go to work against Benesh, and how about that from Benny? Just stripped Stainhouse of the ball.
Well, not often you see Benny on the defensive side of the floor, but
doesn't happen
showing
often.
his worth.
Stainhouse wanted to go right at him, and Benesh said bring it and took it away. Here's Jackson. Down to the crease to Gillum. Big fake there. Goes out high to Jackson. Benesh. Skip pass. Gillum. Right back to Benesh. Steps in. Sidearm shot off a body. Rebound comes right back to Benny. Scores!
With 1 second left on the shot clock.
Loves that short side top corner, and Wagger is just beside himself here as he is just getting pummeled with Swarm goals. Make it 7 for 9 on the power play now for the Minnesota Swarm.
Second goal of the night for Ryan Benesh. 19 Minnesota goals tonight. Banesh with only 3 points. That is how team-wide the scoring has been tonight for Minnesota.
I believe I made the comment, Joe, for the Swarm to save some goals for the Bandits after that Philadelphia contest as they put up 20. Well, they're sitting at 19 now, so that didn't seem to be a problem. But they have those Philadelphia Wings tomorrow evening in the city of brotherly love, and you just hope they're going to leave some in the sticks for the Wings tomorrow night. They also, 7.5 minutes to go, that team record of 20 is definitely in jeopardy of being broken. Here's McIntosh, Jackson, corkscrew shot, kick save, Wagger, ball comes right to Tao. New 30 to work with for Corbin Tao, who goes to Jackson, now down to Gibson. As they isolate here for Matt Gibson. Quick move here, spins back, got Jackson, hard pass, so that one deflected away. Tao picks it up, Tao working in. Ball comes to Gibson now, rolls off a check, 10 on the shot clock. Jay Card with 8 on the wrong side of the floor, so he plays it out high to Shane Jackson. Hard pass to McIntosh, and now a delayed call coming up as McIntosh drives it short side, and a save made from Wagger, and another penalty call coming up here to the Bandits.
This one is a slashing call.
Well, I don't want to say I've given up on this game, Joe, but their discipline and their focus has just gone out the window. It's Johnny Harrison that is the guilty party. She takes the slow, lonely walk.
Well, the wheels have certainly fallen off for Buffalo here. And this is just really kind of continuing a string that began with Edmonton a couple weekends ago. Edmonton beat them by 7. Toronto beat them by 7 last week. And Minnesota's
Here's Tao with a shot.
Doubled up on that yet.
7 for 9 on the man advantage and sitting on 19 goals. A new 30 to work with. Fans, this copyright telecast of the National Lacrosse League Incorporated may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the National Lacrosse League. Here's Jay Card. Hard pass for Gillum, goes off his stick and right to Billy D. Smith. He'll dart through a couple of checkers and get up and over center to Priolo. Under 6 minutes we go here in the fourth quarter. Ball with Hopcroft. Steenhouse now with Billick all over him. Rolls off a check. Sorensen waiting for him there. Here comes the double team, and it's just launched across as the shot clock will expire. Just nothing happening for the Bandits on that possession, shorthanded.
Well, Jake, it's hard to believe this game was 3-3 at the end of the first quarter.
So do the math. The Bandits have been outscored 16-2 since that time. More math, Joe. What is going on here tonight? Here's Banesh stepping in. Hard pass for Gillum. He thinks it's in, but it's not. Good save there from Wagger.
Yeah, Wagger doing a nice job getting back to that near post.
24 seconds left in the penalty time to Harrison.
Well, Minnesota has scored the last 11 into this game.
It's Wiles to Tavares off his stick. He's got it off the boards. McIntosh out there for a shift on D. Earl, Gilbert as well. Pass into the middle. Shot saved from Carlson. As Critch goes after it along with Gilbert and Earl. Downing digging away. Downing playing hard down there as he's trying to come up with that ball. And Gilbert, the man to come away. Jeff Gilbert, rock solid as always again here this evening.
Buffalo back at full strength, so Minnesota 7 for 10 now on the power play.
A Saturday night inside the Hive, and 10,000 strong are going to go home happy. Don't forget, one more game here to come inside the Hive, April 20th. Here's Corbin Tao inside. Get out here to the XL Energy Center and check out some live action, folks. Here's McIntosh with a bomb. That one blocked on the way through by Brock. Scoops up his own block there, and now he'll race it out to center. 4 minutes to go. Petkoff will just dish it off there. Sean Williams. Rink wide to Steenhouse. Stainhouse going to drive it low, right into the Carl. No, this should be a challenge here from Sullivan. Does he have another? No, he's already challenged.
Already used it this half, but yeah, it looked like Stainhouse was in the crease.
Easily in the crease from Stainhouse, but no challenge here for Sullivan. He'll get the replay right here, and I mean, this is about as well. I'll take that back. Let me take that one back.
Yeah, it was a nice goal.
I'd like to see that one more time. I don't think we are going to get that replay. Quick face-off win here by Thornburg. As we have 3:30 to go now, 19-6. What's the matter with you, Tyler Carlson? How dare you? Oh, there's two straight from the Bandits. I don't want to throw the hex on him here as Tavares gets another. And quickly 19-7 now. But just 2 goals allowed in this second half here by Carlson. Look at that shot there from Tavares.
44 years old.
44 years old, Joe.
And just pinpoint accuracy on that shot.
Another shot coming in. This time Carlson gets a piece of that one. Look out in the crowd there. Souvenir for somebody.
Yeah, somebody took that off the side of the head down there.
Timeout down on Treasure Island Field. The final 3:17 coming up here on 45 TV right after this.
Nominate your neighbors for this honor by visiting mnswarm.com/Toro. Do they snow blow the entire block? Maybe they mowed your lawn while you were out of town. We want to hear about it. Nominate them today at mnswarm.com/Toro. Hey, Lindsay, where are you?
I am over here between section 101 and 102, and rumor has it there are lots of good dancers here, which is perfect because it is time for
More with you. Stretch run here. Final 3 minutes of play. As Tyler Haas picks off a pass, it's 19-7 Swarm. Shots on goal, Joe, almost dead even. 46-45 in favor of Buffalo. And now a penalty call coming up here against Tavares. He took down Krepinczak and having words with Chris Williams down there. Tavares not liking that call. Probably gets a little longer leash as far as talking with the referees than most players do. The old Michael Jordan factor there, if you will. Here's Gibson, backhand feed down to Gillum. Looks cross crease to Tao. Monetize comes up with it. Shot clock going to expire here. But another power play and a chance to tie the team record in goals coming up here, Joe, with 2:36 to go in the quarter.
Tavares cross-checking the call. Kind of a needless play, really, on Alex Krepinczak.
Just frustration there from JT. Who's probably experienced, a number of these games on both one side or the other. As these two teams will not meet again for the rest of the year here, but stranger things are happening. Maybe a date in the Champions Cup. You just never know here in the National Lacrosse League.
Well, and that's one thing that's doubly important, not just getting the win here tonight, but tying the season series.
McIntosh has 5. Set up again from Crawford. And what a night for 98 and 24 as they're just hooking up time and time again here, Joe.
Every goal the Swarm scores at the Hive this season means that 5 tickets is donated to local youth organizations by Innovative Office Solutions. Innovative Office Solutions donating 100 tickets here tonight.
So now, Joe, 2:18 to go as they've tied the team record in goals here at 20. One more will break it as Thornburg tries to work his way in front of the net. Ball bouncing away. Backhand shot there, wide of the goal from David Brock. David Earl knocks that ball free. Look at that juke move there from David Earl. One of the most athletic players in this league, just off the charts in fitness testing during training camp.
That is his 7th loose ball pickup tonight as well.
Here's Jake Hard, and there it is! A rocket into the short side top corner. 21 goals here for Minnesota.
Jay Card becomes the 11th Swarm player to score tonight. That equals last week.
And now part of a trivia question as well, Joe. There's another football score up there, Joe, of 21-7 Vikings over the Bills here.
The extra point is good.
Yes, indeed. My, oh my. Thornburg down the pipe here. Wilson off the base of the post and stays out as Belial scoops up a loose ball. He's hammered. Knocks it free for Downing. And once again, the Swarm will go into Philadelphia tomorrow and riding high after pumping Buffalo for 21 here with still 1:15 to go.
Well, it's 21 goals on 47 shots and
11 different goal scorers here for Minnesota tonight. Here's Tao off the post with over the shoulder. Close call there, looking for 22. Final minute of play.
Ash Crawford, they really haven't been on the turf offensively here much in this quarter.
They're keeping the big guns on the bench here, and class move by the coaching staff. And, you know, part of that is there's really, you know, I don't think the Swarm are intentionally running it up here. And you also got a game tomorrow night. Want to keep your guys fresh. Here's Tao. Save from Wegger, who's down on top of it with 32 seconds to go here. So one final possession for the Bandits. Sorensen tried to pick that one off and forgot his stick. Here's Stainhouse down to Hopcroft. He stepped in the crease, and that should do it. As Billick out near center will just cross the line and hold on. Final 10 seconds here inside the Hive as the crowd comes to their feet in support and an appreciation of a dominating victory here for the Minnesota Swarm over the Buffalo Bandits. A 14-goal victory, 21-7. The Swarm take it. You want to talk about domination, Joe? I mean, in all facets, goal scoring, defense, goaltending, special teams, transition, you name it. This was Swarm all the way tonight.
3-3 at the end of one quarter turns into 21-7, 18-4. Minnesota beat Buffalo in the final 3 quarters here tonight.
Your final shots on goal, 49 for Minnesota, 47 for Buffalo, but the final score, 21 Swarm, 7 for the Bandits. That is going to do it here for us on TV side. For Joe Moore, for Jake Elliott, and for the fastest game on 2 feet. We'll see you inside the Hive. And we'll keep it live right here on the National Lacrosse League Network and the Lacrosse Network, Joe. And we probably won't spend too much time here because I know the team wants to get out of Dodge here quickly and back to the hotel and off for a quick trip to Philadelphia. And I know Philadelphia went down in defeat to Rochester, so they'll have a little shorter travel from Rochester back to Philadelphia than we will from Minnesota to Philadelphia. But both teams playing the night before and trending in the right way here for the Swarm at the right time of the year.
Well, I'll tell you what, Jake, that Philadelphia loss earlier, the Minnesota win here tonight. The Swarm improved to 6-7. The Philadelphia loss in Rochester drops them to 5-8. If Minnesota can complete the season sweep against Philadelphia tomorrow, that will guarantee a playoff spot for Minnesota.
A huge game coming up tomorrow from the city of brotherly love as Tyler Carlson, your player of the game, being interviewed by the professor. And, you know, what can you say? Crawford again goes off, just off the charts here for the Swarm. Another 9-10 points. I mean, I don't even know the total for Crawford as we haven't got the final stats in yet, but just another monster night for 98.
Yeah, Crawford, I believe, is going to end up with the 9 points. Jordan McIntosh, 5 goals. He chips in a couple of assists, 7 loose balls, plus all the face-off work that he does.
Yeah, David Earl, spectacular coming out of the back end. And, again, Tyler Carlson, rock solid at home here as he only allows 7 and, you know, 2 goals only allowed in that, 5 in the first half, 2 in the second half. And, you know, this is a goaltender that's just dialed in right now. I mean, he's unconscious.
Yeah, and it's not just the fact that he's seen the ball, and I'm sure it looks a lot bigger as it's coming in, but his rebound control has been phenomenal his last 2 times out. He's
That's
either
really
keeping
been the
it
key.
right there, or actually what we saw a couple times tonight as he's kicking it away, he's kicking it out with such force and actually able to direct it past an incoming offensive player looking for that rebound. So,
I said, you know you're in the zone when you're not only making the stops, but directing where you want those rebounds to go. And unlike Carlson, Wagger was making stops but was unable to control rebounds. And the Swarm time and time again found themselves on top of that crease picking up rebounds and just point-blank chances on top of the crease. And no goaltender is going to make those saves.
No, certainly not. And it goes back to what you talked about at halftime, Jake, and that is just the goaltender can help set the tone for the rest of the team in front of him. Make a couple of those good saves. The defense able to clear a rebound. All of a sudden now you're in transition, and Minnesota has been playing that game very well here the last 3 weeks.
Well, I'll tell you, my birthday tomorrow, Joe, and I couldn't ask for a better present than a big double-dip win tomorrow night in Philadelphia. We'll see if the boys can get it done. They got the first part done here this evening in fine fashion as they put up 21 goals on the Buffalo Bandits and take them down by a score of 21-7. Your final shots on goal, 49-47 in favor of the Swarm as well. And that will do it here for us on the NLL Network. For Joe Moore, I'm Jake Elliott, and for the fastest game on 2 feet, we'll see you inside the Hive.
All right. Your 3 winners tonight. First place, taking home 2 Minnesota Swarm season tickets. Number 77. 77. You are taking home Minnesota Swarm season tickets. You can claim your prize with your ticket up at the sales desk. Taking home 6 months of Toppers Pizza, we've got 1, 2, 2, 3. Again, 6 months of Toppers Pizza. That's 1, 2, 2, 3. Head on up to the sales desk. And finally, taking home a case of Smokin' Joe's Beef Jerky, we have Y484. Again, that's Y484. Congratulations to all of tonight's winners. And